In a week for getting the doc.
Sorry about that, guys. Something went. How's it going, guys? I'm back for part two.
This guy, but he should have already pumped the shotgun. Gathered it around in the chamber, or he pumped out a fresh round for no. Kenneth and Nina run into some other survivors who open fire on. That's why you want to get away from other people. The shooter just gave permission to all the zombies at least a half a mile radius. He's jumpy, trigger happy, and inaccurate. Not the kind of person I want to be traveling with. And also grab that bike in the background. Go 2 to 3 times as fast as if you were running, with far less energy. Trying to run away from an uninhibited sprinting zombie is pretty much a cop. The shooter's girl is also pregnant. She's 100% gay. The group mentions that they're headed to the nearby mall. The YouTube channel Zombie Survival Lessons has a great video on the pros and cons of holding up a mall in the zombie apocalypse. Basically, malls are terrible because they're amazing. You have food and supplies, space, open vantage points, security, and food and supplies in nearby shops. The problem is that everyone who's going there or is already there.
Yeah, we were in the middle of doing a mid card tournament. Something went wrong, so hopefully we get going again. I'm good, Muhammad Adib.
First priority.
Hopefully we'll get Pez back out here and we can continue on to that contest. Sorry, sir.
Good, but as long as they're locked, it should give you time to reinforce them. They're only going to break in if they know you're in there. They need to get into the security office to obtain the keys so they can lock the doors while taking the weapons away. Unfortunately, there's no gun store in this mall. In the movie, they get pretty lucky that all the doors are already locked. If not, Andre would have been in trouble. This was pure luck, and without going to the key, they could not have ensured that the doors were locked. Once you have a map of the building, fire.
Thanks, Muhammad.
If there's only one set of keys, they need to stay together. But if there are multiple sets of keys, I'd suggest splitting up into groups of two. Kenneth and Anna, Andre and Michael, and then have Luda hide out in a gated shop. It'd also be good to grab a walkie-talkie and
Right.
communicate together.
We'll get Pez back out here so we can do more of the loading of the mid card belts.
They make it inside. It's go. Star Gordon gets to overcome a rogue zombie much more effectively than by themselves. The entire time, I'd be keeping a backup escape route in my mind, but there aren't many options. If a group of zombies traversed into the store from anywhere, they would only be able to do the hand. They don't know the layout well, so they can't risk running into a dead end. With a pregnant wife, they can't run far or fast. If they need to run, their only options are to hunger into a nearby store and cross the security gate. It only helps them survive that moment, but long term, they're still dead. Locking all the entrances quickly is their only chance. Once all the entrances are locked up, you need to turn the window doors there to cover and concealment. Concealment so they don't see you inside, and cover to prevent them from breaking in if they do. Painting or taping up curtains would be a quick way to block the window. After blocking the window, you'll have some breathing room to ensure there aren't zombies inside the mall. I'd go room by room, sector by sector, and clear the entire mall of zombies. Not a huge mall, so it shouldn't take too long. Making a loud noise to bait zombies into the open isn't a bad tactic. You'll still need to make sure a ninja zombie is not lurking in the bathroom stall. Once the building's secure, then you can spend more time reinforcing, barricading the door. Find bicycle locks or hooks to wrap around the door handles. Then use any wood or metal to place over the doors or windows. Then build in braces that push up against it. Next, start bringing food, water, ammo, medical, and other necessary gear to the rooftop. Ideally, you want to move everything to the roof. Water is going to be the most immediate issue, so setting up rain catchers on the roof is a good idea. Rainwater is safe to drink, but you can boil it if you want to be sure. They should also collect as much water from faucets as they can before electricity and pumps go out. There should be a good supply of bottled water in the bowl too, so they should have enough water to avoid those bear grills. Not that that affects survival. The rooftop basically there to all of them. There's only a couple entrances. The doors are made of steel. These are boots on the ground Zombozo. They aren't doing any wall climbing stuff like in World War Z, so don't have to worry about them. It's the most secure defensible location they have. The rooftop also provides more escape options. You can rope or ladder down from any side of the building. Evac choppers can spot you and pick you up. Your radios and SOS signals will travel further, and you can better find other the vicinity. Securing the stairwell leading to your rooftop Alamo is also important. You can just reinforcing the doors with door gates to the security guard from bursting through the rooftop if they make it. You might want to think of an evac plan. Let the vault stop.
Well, a lot of people joining in the live stream right now. Just waiting for Pez to come back. So if we do, so we continue on the contest. So Pez, if you're watching this, just know I started another live stream so we can get started again.
These zombies for rage virus that being spawned they have realistic physiological needs and respect the first law of thermodynamics. This means their bodies use energy which can't be depleted, and they have to have a functioning circulatory, respiratory, and nervous system. If this is the case, you don't need much food at all. It's a good thing because let's be honest, none of these people are Mark Watt. Nobody will be setting up a sustainable potato farm on the roof. You don't even need to wait for the zombies to die of starvation. They will all die of dehydration within days from just standing out in the sun. As long as you have some rain catchers and Evian, you can put out a lawn chair just to snip it once it goes away. Then you can pick off the stragglers, start scavenging, and rebuild a society. You will still have to be careful of zombies that were chilling in cold, dark areas, if they could survive much longer without water. To be safe, you might want to wait about a month before raiding house. In addition to dehydration, zombies will also likely die from infection. The vast majority of zombies were initially infected from bite wounds. The severe infection and septic shock caused by these would eventually kill them. The other good news is that the virus only affects humans, so there will be plenty of wildlife to hunt to satisfy your long-term food. Let's continue with what the characters did instead. Michael screwed up badly by opening the door. Should have stayed on the mission to lock all the doors as priority numero uno, then gone for help. Haphazardly trying to clear out zombies by himself was not a good strategy. The glove was dumb to swap a crowbar, but you can't argue with his result. Officer Kenneth and the crew get distracted by the commotion, and a ninja zombie attacks them from behind. Kenneth whacks the zombie off of Pluta, then gets tackled into the fountain. Ina snacks the shotgun on hipfire, making an accurate hit on the zombie, saving Kenneth's life. She must have had her lucky charms this morning. I think you should give your shotgun back to the cop now. They hop into the elevator to get to the high ground. Get a warm welcome by the security staff when the elevator opens. The ball cop should have disabled the elevator and think want to limit any chances that a zombie can bump into the level 2 button and kill everyone. They would have given the guns up, but that's a hard situation to de-escalate. Side note, not that they had options, but revolvers are terrible in a zombie apocalypse. They're slow to reload and have low capacity. Same with shotguns. Single stack pistols are better because they're quicker to reload. They also suffer from low capacity. If I was the security, I checked in for bike wounds and quarantine. Let me give an alternate take here, since I tend to assume the more realistic zombie like it 28 weeks later. The shoot up in the head growth is probably derived from the fact that the human body can withstand a lot of feel pain and are in full adrenaline rage mode. They will keep coming until they receive a critical hit like a headshot. Zombies can't be killed with non-heavy. I also think it's funny that we're always told to destroy a zombie's brain, but a zombie is essentially a useless killing machine. Get to the brain is a good target. I just think it's ironic. On the news, we also hear that Fort is secure, with search and rescue teams searching for survivors. It's not a real base, so who knows how far away it is. At this point, holding out at 6 their best. The survivors finally start clearing and locking down the vault, putting up signals, tossing the dead bodies off the roof. They hear some gunshots coming across the street. There's another survivor, and he's pulled up for 500 yards away. Military truck flies by, but doesn't stop. The chopper.
Hopefully, we get Pez back out here, and then we can get Sue on with the stream. But it may go for a little bit longer, and we'll see. Right back, guys.
Maybe the worst case scenario is that the chopper was aimed from the front base. In the live report on the news a bit ago, saw them unloading a transport truck with a bloody survivor. It's possible that the zombies. Everyone heads back inside the night. Flux on luck. The next morning, the rookie security kid goes to do some routine tasks, make some coffee. Would not use the elevator. Way too risky. You have no idea what's on the other end of the door. If a ninja zombie runs at you, good luck getting the elevator doors to close. Meanwhile, Ina's crew is still locked up with CJ. But why did CJ lock them up on the first floor when there's stores with gates on the second, where it's way safer? Outside, a couple wild boys in a shipping truck are driving around the parking lot, still on the zombie. Ina's team wants to help, but CJ's a stubborn prick. I get that bringing in strangers is dangerous, but with your guns and numbers, you can quarantine them. You have enough food and could use them help killing zombies. Michael and Kenneth jack the guns and flip the script on CJ's crew. The outsiders spin the truck around and reverse into the loading gate. Seems they have some additional cargo. Andre and Michael run outside to help the drivers, and holy shit, they must be ex-special forces. How easily they're headshotting everyone left and right under extreme stress and pressure. Whoa, absolutely no way that lady in the wheelbarrow comes in. Hope we aren't going to entertain the bullshit that the protagonists they really need to implement a decontamination procedure for all the new people for the zombie virus. The cop tries to leave to go find his brother and the pastor, despite the trucker saying that everyone there is dead. But Kenneth has a change of heart when he sees poor Andy stuck out there all by his lonesome. Jesus, this guy is a bike too? Nobody checked the newcomers out at all. This is going to end badly. This lady looks like a special mutant zombie. Like the floater bio launcher in video games.
Yeah.
As a nurse or anyone with common sense, get some PPE on and get your hands out of her face and bodily fluids. You want to stick your fingers in her mouth for a dental inspection too? Anna manages to dodge fate yet again. After that, I'd take the gun away from the security kid. I'm sorry, but if you have the only gun and you run and leave everyone in danger, you don't deserve it. No shit. Doesn't take a doctor to figure that out. Anna, that was literally what caused your husband to die. You saw that exact thing happen in the beginning. Anna and Michael have a dispute about executing whoever is bit. Killing anyone with an open wound is only going to cause conflict, distrust, and resentment, which will lead to revenge killings. The infection typically takes hours depending on the wound. All you have to do is lock anyone with an open wound in a gated store. If they turn into a zombie, flatten them. If not, you avoided murdering someone for no reason. The guy with the bite wound on his hand will be zombified in hours. Amputating his arm won't work either. Blood circulates through the body way too fast. For example, a drug administered in the arm reaches the brain within a few seconds. The virus has already spread throughout his entire body. Even if it would stop the virus, field amputations are incredibly lethal and hard to perform correctly. In the Civil War, the mortality rate for amputation was extremely low. 1/3 of people died from the surgery itself, and half of those people who lived through the surgery died from infection later. I'd say they're under worse circumstances. They have no medical equipment or supplies for the Band-Aid, and nurses are not trained to perform amputations. They really need to think about where they're quarantining and executing people. You're getting their infectious fluids everywhere. Blowing someone's brains out on a perfectly good bed or couch that someone could have slept on is stupid. Why not have Kenneth close the gate in front of him? Why lock himself in with someone infected? If one thing gets tripped up, you're dead. If you aren't paying attention, the dude throws something at your head and attacks you because he doesn't want to die. The gun misfires, etc. You want at least 2 degrees of separation between you and death.
I got something.
Now that that's taken care of, go check out Andre's wife, who was cut in the altercation with the zombie, as well as the trucker's leg that was also injured.
Huh.
Standoffishness would be alarming, especially considering what we know about fights and her close call with the zombie, not checking in with each other to measure each other's conditions. Stay. I've mentioned before that the importance of entertainment in the apocalypse is underestimated, and I gotta say, the mall is a good choice to fulfill this need. Who's Who with a hunting rifle looks fun. For some mysterious and unpredictable reason, the mall ran out of power, and nobody thought to scavenge the generators earlier on. Now they have to go into an uncleared, zombie filled parking garage in darkness. Keep going, guys. Before they embark on their suicidal journey, Kenneth shows Michael how to take the safety off of his gun, which is inspiring as hell. I'm glad the guys I'm rolling out with don't know how to use their gun. Kenneth, being a former Marine, should have conducted a weapons 101 training course in their spare time. So when shit goes down, they actually know how to use the gun. Maybe you guys shouldn't have just screwed around for the past few days. It's also worth pointing out that when fighting in low light conditions, you never want to have your light permanently on because it just gives your position away. You want to use quick taps when assessing and engaging areas or threat. You also want to move alongside the wall to reduce the areas a zombie could attack you from. What the hell? Now we have to deal with Circus Soleil zombies? All hell breaks loose, and the Securitas kid dies a horrific death. It's hard to tell what's going on, but it appears they made it into a gated gas station in the underground garage at the mall. Damn it. Kenneth runs out of ammo, which was stupid. He should have brought spare ammo. Thinking back, he wrapped his shotgun, making his entrance. This chambered around, but also freed up space in the tube. He could move another round in. Depending on the shell, this gives him 5 plus, whereas he only had 5. So he only anticipated needing to fire 5 rounds, which is really optimistic. This is also why I don't like shotguns. Low capacity, and unless you're Jerry Michalak with an extended tube and speed loader, you're going to get stampeded before you can reload. It's a damn good thing CJ had a lighter to set the gas on fire. Luna's childbirth doesn't seem to be going so well. I blame Andre for being a poor midwife. That is true love, though. I'd have capped my girlfriend a long time ago. The granny shows up for the baby shower and unloads on the zombie. Andre doesn't take this so well and blasts Norma back. If I was the granny, seeing Andre's mental state and the zombie, I'd have blasted him first, then the zombie. Tina assesses that the granny wasn't fit, won't become a zombie. Can you really know for sure, though? You really want to just assume that with everything that's going on? I know I don't. Double tap all of them, including the zombie baby. Seems these recent events broke the group's morale on holding out in the mall until help arrives. The glaring issue here is that the marina is essentially in the heart of Milwaukee, has a population of 600,000 zombies. You have to drive through all of that to get to the boat, whereas with Oregon, the population gets sparser as you get closer. Secondly, the boat takes time to start up and push offshore, which is a problem when 100,000 zombies are sprinting at you. Thirdly, you don't know if the boats were jacked or destroyed in the chaos. The islands are not a bad idea, though. You can easily eliminate all the zombies on the islands, fish for food, and you're far enough away from the shore that other zombies won't know you're there. Who knows if these zombies can swim, though? If so, a few miles offshore might still be dangerous. If you were dead set on boating to a middle of a lake, at least a remote area of the shoreline, road to the island. Rowing 5 to 10 miles, not difficult. And it's going to be a lot safer. They have to do something, though. It's almost been a week, and the zombies have not died or shown signs of deterioration from dehydration. For some reason, these zombies don't seem to have any physiological constraints. This means that they cannot stay in the mall and outlast the zombies. They'll just starve to death. I think they should try a different option before going to either Oregon or the marina. In both of those options, you have to leave the comfort, security, and supply-rich mall to wade through thousands of zombies or you don't know even exist. They should stay put and implement a shape, clear, hold, build military strategy. Shape means to identify the nature and strength of the enemy threat in a given area. After the outbreak, Anna hopped on the highway and drove away from the city. She most likely ended up in a more suburban area like Brookfield. This is about a 5 by 5 mile area with a population of roughly 30,000. The number of zombies hanging out at their mall looks to be around 5 to 10,000. Clear. Obviously, we need to eradicate the zombie infestation. This is the fun part, like the Dead Rising game or Dying Light, but more realistic. Since the zombies can't be killed by attrition, it must be done with violence.
Damn.
With 40 to 50 rounds of ammo per box, six.
Hopefully, we'll get them back on here and do more tournaments. I know we like to see more of that tournament of the Battle of the Mid cards.
The most efficient job. And if you have one of these stacks laying around, you're going to be just fine. That's over 125,000 rounds there. You could kill the crowd in front of that ball 25 times over with just that. A 22 LR aimed down at the zombie's head from the rooftop will definitely destroy the brain. In some cases, the bullet has enough power to penetrate the skull, but not enough to exit out the back. So the bullet just ricochets around inside the skull, turning the brain into soup. I know Andy's getting hungry, but I don't recommend sipping the juice out of those coconuts. A rifle round could be heard from a few miles away, but with only 30,000 people within a few miles of them, killing the zombies won't attract any more than that. Personally, I'd save the ammo as much as possible. They should be able to kill a significant amount of zombies with Molotov cocktails or homemade napalm using gas and styrofoam. The mall is made of bricks, so it shouldn't be a problem. Still wouldn't hurt to have some fire extinguishers and water nearby, though. A dishonorable mention for the adrenaline junkies would be the Green Force strategy in the Great Wall movie. I highly don't recommend this, but you could use a pulley system to bait the zombies over, then repeatedly drop heavy weights onto their heads, or just throw bricks like Kevin McAllister in Home Alone.
Yeah. Where are you from, brother? I am from the great United States. Billo Mozambique. Or if I mispronounce your name, I do apologize. From the great United States. Simple as that.
Ronnie free block. Ronnie has free block. Okay. Stronger than down. Activity with Dave.
Never say that again. Can't save you from all of life's out of the loop moments, but when it comes to money, don't got you covered. Get in the know with free money.
Yeah. Obviously, I don't know if we may get Pez back on here again or not, but hopefully I'll do this for a little bit longer before I call it a day. After all, got a little bit of a party going on here for my family. After all, celebrate my birthday. Yeah.
The whole thing fake. Reinforce the security of the mall and the gun store. Close any gaps in your base defenses. Set up snare and noisemaker traps for the zombies. And generally just ensure that you can maintain your controlled territory now that the initial threat is gone. With the local threat identified, eliminated, and your position reinforced, you can start building out sustainability. Set up clear systems for supply rationing, animal traps, sewage disposal, firearms training for all survivors, how and where to raid and scavenge, as well as decontamination of newcomers and people returning to the raid. Not sure how much food they have left, or how many animals they could trap, or how much non perishable food they could raid from nearby store. Raiding is exceptionally dangerous too. Since dogs are unappetizing to zombies and are a popular pet, there should be lots of them available and eager to come to you if you get hungry. It's tough, but it is the apocalypse. Your only alternative is attempting that homegrown potato farm for an even less appetizing option. Food can be quite abundant if you just know where to look. I'm not saying it's the first choice, but I'm saying it's worth a shot if you're going to die anyways. Cooking the meat over 140 degrees should kill any pathogen, which should make it safe to eat. You're going to want to order this meal well done. I know, Freon's in the CFJ disease. But if you only eat muscle tissue, you'll have less of a chance of getting infected. And even if you do, the time from infection to death is 30 to 50 years long. So I'd say that's worth it when your only other option is starving in 3 to 5 months. I still think driving out to Oregon is the next move. Hunting wildlife in the open is far less dangerous than raiding houses and stores. You're also far less likely to come across deranged or malicious survivors. At least now you have a fallback base at the mall if Oregon or the marina is swarmed with zombies. If you want to take back the world and start repopulating it, shape, clear, hold, build, and repeat is your best option. There are enough guns and ammo in each city across America to kill all the residents, many multiple times over. So removing the zombies shouldn't be too tall of an order. With our protagonist's crippled morale, they outfit the war buses to head for the marina in a last-ditch suicidal attempt at salvation. Even though we would have thinned the zombie herd out, it's still a good idea to up armor and upgun your vehicle. In the mall crew's case, there's still around 10,000 zombies outside. They're on the right track with the snowplow, but it needs to be pointier. They want to avoid zombies piling up in front as much as possible, and snowplows are not meant for piercing as much as pushing. The plow should also be low enough to the ground that zombies cannot fall underneath the bus and muck the tires up or reduce the bus's traction to the road.
Yeah,
Welding
includes that.
strips around the side of the bus, zombies falling down in front of the rear tires is also not as extreme as this, but you get the point. It is a colossal mistake. Weld pieces of metal to the sides of the buses. All they're doing is giving zombies something to grab a hold of. The chainsaw idea is cool, but you wouldn't need them if you didn't create handholds for the zombies to climb onto the bus in the first place. Chainsawing zombies is also going to be spitting up infectious blood everywhere. The additional lights are good because without the power grid, it's going to be dark as shit at night. Hopefully you don't have to drive at night, but it's better to be prepared for it. Barbed wire on the roof is better than nothing, but it's not going to slow zombies down much at all. Shit, zombies would probably grab onto it as another handhold. Meanwhile, Andy's getting hungry over there. He's a skinny fella, but he'll last flat for days. There won't be any severe muscle atrophy. He's not going to be a weak cripple by the time they make their escape to the marina. There is no point in risking the biscuit to get him a Sammy right now. Andy is about 400 to 500 meters away at least, and surrounded by zombies. Carrying food over with an RC car sounds good, but cheap store-bought ones only have a couple hundred feet.
Yeah.
Potato guns sounds good, but you have to be extremely DIY ones only have a range of about 50 to 100 yards or so. My vote is to kill all the zombies, then go pick them up. Instead, they send the dog over with food, which surprisingly works. The problem is the ground level pickup. Andy screws up and gets zombified because he didn't shut the door quick enough or have his gun ready to blast the nearby zombies. Nicole goes completely insane and drives the truck over to Andy's gun store to rescue her dog. This is mind-blowing levels of stupidity. Dogs are completely ignored by zombies. You literally saw Chip walk through the report. He will be fine. She didn't even know Andy was bit when she drove over there. Everything was going according to plan as far as she knew, and she's still free. Now she's stuck in a closet with Andy trying to kill her, causing the mall crew to attempt a hasty rescue, even though abandoning her dumbass would also be a perfectly good option. Their new plan is to use the sewer system. On the approach to the sewers, there's a self-locking fire door, and they need someone to be ready to open it when they come back. Steve is enlisted for this vital job. Steve would be better placed in the coffee shop. He will 100% screw you over. Why not have Anna, Glenn, or Monica do it instead? The rescue team navigates the sewer system to get close to the gun store, but they end up having to pop out in the middle of the street filled with zombies to make a run for the store. Apparently, nobody thought to stop by one of the mall stores and throw on a leather jacket or gloves to protect against bites. No, most of them are just rocking tank tops. Instead of the sewer approach, I'd have driven one of the buses up to the shipping truck driver door, climbed over to the store, hopped through the gate, killed Andy, thrown Nicole off the roof, killed all the zombies, and then head back to the mall. If they are going to use the sewer route where they have to traverse open ground, kind of like a form of zombie camouflage. It sounds like a cheap gag in a crappy horror movie, but if you think about it, it could work. How do zombies differentiate between humans and other zombies? It has to be based on a mix of scent, sound, motion, and behavior. If you could spill some zombie guts on your clothes, make awful moaning noises, and work a limp, you might be able to fool the zombies. It would at least buy them some time. It's also worth a shot in a situation where you're trapped by a zombie horde. No idea how they survive that. The crew points the fighting and gets in the 870 police.
Damn.
Everybody reloads their guns and runs back outside to the sewer so they can get back to the. What's the rush? Obviously, this building is secure. All the zombies in the morning, then head back to the mall. If you're gonna run back outside right now, at least grab some AR-15. No competent guns won't have them stopped. Capacity, quicker to reload, easier manual arms, and softer recoil. It's perfect for rapid, accurate headshots. At minimum, I'd ditch the revolver for double stack magazines. Reloading is when you're most vulnerable. I mean, to roll out like Noah McManus or Neo. Don't need to reload if you have more guns. They scramble into the sewer, and Tucker falls, breaking his leg. CJ drags while Tucker shoots, but there's just too many of them. What do you know? Steve screws them over by leaving the door shut and locked. Luckily, Anna opens it before they get overrun. Nobody's able to get the door shut, so the zombies come pouring into the mall. Well, now the marina or Hurricane are your only options, since your poor decisions cost you the mall. They scream for everyone to get into the elevator.
They did.
Nope. Take that back. Nope, Steve was in the bathroom. Nope, Steve was by the bus with the keys. That scumbag was probably trying to take off without everyone. It would have kneecapped him and left his ass. The buses get bogged down in the enough. CJ take bomb to fit him out of it.
That could have ended badly. But yeah.
They fucking let the explode, and it'd be harder to find in the horde of zombies. They peel out and start making their way to the marina. One zombie managed to hang on to the bus, though. Yeah, attaching railings all over the bus was not a good idea. Monica shouts to drive faster, which is also a terrible idea. Yes, you want to drive fast enough that zombie hordes can't surround you, but you don't want to go too fast and wreck your only means of survival. Michael's chainsaw idea would not have been necessary if they didn't create zombie handholds. It wasn't good in theory, and it's especially not good in practice in a rowdy bus. Michigan.
Yeah, that sucked. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I'm definitely say I guess Pez won't be joining again. I guess we kind of messed up on that tournament, but yeah. Anyway, let's say do this for a little bit longer, then I'll probably end it here. Looks like I got about 4 or 5 likes. That means a lot, guys. And yeah, this is part 2 of the last one because part 1 we had to go. So I had to go somewhere, and obviously it was connection issues. But I guess now we got other things to do. So oh here we go. Yeah, Steve, right there. Oh, it's the trailer for the the mo- You see how this looks, right? So literally, A24 now producing another movie, but it's based on the Catch a Predator, uh, with Robert Pattinson playing Chris Hansen. And they had the guy who played Jimmy Olsen in the Superman movie, the recent Superman movie, plays the guy who's trying to be a decoy.
What I'm doing here. What are you doing?
Time. I can't wait to see that type of movie come out.
Sends the bus into a roll. Luckily, Michael sees this in time and backs up to rescue them. Steve takes Kenneth hanging and gets attacked by the zombie holding onto the bus. How did Glenn die? He chainsawed Monica and the bus split. He could have banged his head off of something, but you don't know if he was knocked out or dead. Hope they took a pulse on him to make sure. It would suck if he woke up in the bus alone with everyone gone. Anna goes back for Steve's body to grab the keys to the boat. Why on earth did they leave the most important item of their mission in Steve's hands? And why was nobody aware that Steve had the keys? Everyone should know who the key bearer was in case they get killed. I also hope you guys got an exact location and description of his boat. They narrowly escape and make it, but they're already getting swarmed. The timing is going to be getting offshore in time. CJ buys them some time by making a last stand and nuking them with another propane bomb. Michael stops everyone to tell them that he got bit when Anna went back for the keys. Dude, not a good time. You have hours until you're a zombie, based on how long it took Frank to zombify. Just get in the boat and we'll deal with you later. Or push us off and make a last stand like CJ. Zombies just stand around and wait for Michael and the group to say their heartfelt goodbyes before he kills himself. The rest of the survivors escape into the island in the lake. They stupidly parked the boat and ran onto the island without checking it out first. They should have coasted around the perimeter of the island and killed as many as possible from a distance. There should only be in the realm of hundreds of people on the island. They easily could have killed them all, but instead ran ashore and just got overrun. The movie ends. Let's see who would have lived and who would have died. The infection spread extremely fast and took everyone by surprise. Lewis was unsavable. They got lucky that the ball was already locked up, but really any high ground with access to water should have worked. Realistically, all the zombies should have died from dehydration within a week, so nobody else would have died. Unfortunately, these zombies are not affected by this. Luda got infected as well as the big lady.
Yeah, zombies.
They were
in most movies you think it'd be dehydration or starving that, but you forget they're already dead. So pretty much dehydration will mean nothing.
Death to be a ninja zombie. They should have kept a closer eye on Luda and Andre. Letting people go off on their own where you can't check their condition was a bad call. I don't think Andre would have taken his wife and baby's execution easily, though, and he likely would have died or been killed by the others in a confrontation anyways. Norma should have shot Andre before Luda, after seeing his mental state. This would have prevented her death as well. Andy should have killed all the zombies near the doggy door before picking up the food, ensuring his survival. After that snack, the mall crew and Andy easily could have killed off all the zombies in the area with the ammo and weapons available, then brought Andy back to the mall before heading off to the marina. Nicole was an idiot and drove over there, so they needed to rescue her too, I guess. Once they got there, they should have stayed, used the ammo to kill all the zombies, then headed back to the mall in the morning. This would have saved Tucker's life. Using Steve to guard the sewer doors was idiotic, and the delay before Anna opening the door enabled the zombies to reach the mall, forcing them to leave without preparing. If they didn't add handholds to the bus, there wouldn't be zombies they needed to chainsaw off, and Glenn would not have been in a position to accidentally saw Monica in half. This event arguably caused him to crash, leading to Steve, Glenn, and Michael's deaths. The marina was a bad option because getting off of shore was almost impossible without being overrun. It was almost inevitable that CJ or someone would have had to sacrifice themselves to stem the tide of zombies. If they had gone to a remote area and rowed to the island or Oregon, this would not have been the case. They should have rowed around the island, taking off the zombies before heading ashore. There shouldn't have been more than a couple hundred zombies to kill. Kenneth, Anna, Terry, and Nicole all would have lived. The dog ship was never in danger, so he's doing just fine. Overall, I think we could have beaten the zombie horde and Dawn of the Dead with less people getting killed. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, that I would agree on that. I'm gonna watch this. But yeah, I think
He always wanted to help.
yeah. Anyway, I think I'm gonna end the stream here, guys. But thank you guys so much about the 4 or 5 likes. So thank you guys so much for being part of this live stream. Make sure to continue to hit the likes, and again, shout outs to Pez. Check out his channel of all those homemade belts, especially belts that even I don't have in my collection. Shout out to his daughter, Holly Chaos. She has her own channel involved with Pokemon and other gaming related stuff. Shout outs to Brother Kane. He does wrestling game related stuff on his channel. And also shout outs to Dex, who does live streams on his channel, but also on another channel called Wrestle Chat Talk. You can see me there every now and then. And of course, my good old friend Brother Kane. Check out his show. He got belt related stuff on his channel as well. But yeah, shout out to them. And again, guys, I also announced that the winner was indeed Tyrese for the SmackDown tag. He's got 24 hours to respond to me, but as well, I'm going to post a video of it on my channel soon to announce that he is the winner. But yet, if he does not respond within 24 hours, within the next live stream, which would be around noon, I'll do that spin of the wheel one more time so we can have a full blown winner who can respond to me and within the 24 hours, and then we'll see how we go from there. So remember, the other 5 people, you still have a chance if Tyrese does not respond to me within 24 hours. So I'll post the video up on YouTube later today, and I will announce that winner. But anyway, as well, if you're new to my channel, want to know what I'm about, especially for this bad boy, like here, check out my main channel, my most recent video about my birthday. So like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already, guys. There, I'm now 89 away from reaching 1,000, and when I do reach 1,000, that WCW TV title right over there will be in the next giveaway. So yeah, hold on one second. So make sure like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And as well, don't forget to ring that notification bell so the matches start to be notified for when I do live streams. Again, another one tomorrow and other videos, which is another one later today, announcing the winner. But again, it all may change if he doesn't respond. So that. And
Yeah.
4 years of writing experience?
No,
Yeah.
I would not.
Okay.
Yeah. as well, don't forget to follow me on my social media, like on X at DMTombstone96 and on Instagram at DME96, when I might post stuff there if I post stuff here on this channel. And yeah, I am DM Tombstone Belts, and for DM Tombstone Live, signing off. See you guys tomorrow. Have a good day, everybody.